Hi, this is Don Debelak. You've reached the seventh video in the video series Pumping Up Sales. It's called Creating the Right First Impression. And it's all about that everybody judges you before your product. So be prepared to make a good first impression so to get your product off on the right foot. Now, you might be a little bit surprised in this video series that for pumping up sales, we have really actually not talked about doing sales and what sales tactics are, although we'll be talking about them later. We're talking about mostly being properly prepared, having a plan, going after the right customer, going after them with the right message. And really, this is all coming together as we start to create a first impression. Um, the secret to success in the invention business, and this is marketing companies, every company plans, every company prepares, everybody works at getting the right marketing message, the right product strategy, and the right sales strategy before they go out and introduce a product. Inventors really need to do the same thing. And this is meaning one of the focuses I keep trying to emphasize is that you're succeeding because you understand the market. You're not necessarily succeeding because your product is so great. Although it's good to have a good product. Don't let me tell you otherwise. But on the other hand, just putting out a product without the right uh, things in line up as far as your plan, your strategy, and what you're doing, it's not going to work. So creating the first impression, again, something inventors don't usually worry too much about, is extremely important if they really want to get launched in a big way. It's the only way you get network contacts. It's the only people you get way you get industry insiders, and it's the only way you get the early adopters who really support your product. Now, here's the key points to address on creating a first impression. Again, this is going to be like a table of contents of the slides that are coming up. First of all, you're really worried about a first impression, both to your distribution channel and to your end users. And because if you don't get past the distribution channel, you probably won't get to the end users. It's very important to see what the distribution channel is looking for and how to get that out. What you're really trying to show people is that you've done your homework. You've identified your target customers. You have a business strategy or product strategy that works, that fits into what's going on in the market, that gives you a competitive advantage and gives you a clear spot where your product will sell in the market. You know, nobody's going to impress with you if you don't have a clear strategy. And then you're going to show that the product fits into what your target customer needs or wants. Now, when you're talking to businessmen, all of them think of segmenting customers. So we don't talk about people who are buying athletic shoes. I mean, that's too broad a market, and it's really not the target focus that people are looking for you to have. If you're targeting instead, like Reebok did, people who want a comfortable shoe for walking, then you've got a better target market. People expect you to do that. When you go back in with a scattergun approach where your product works for everybody, that does not impress the distribution channel. They want to see that you know about product focus, you know how to target your customers, and that your target customers really want what your product is. Again, you need some high quality products and marketing materials. So you need the products you're showing to them to have good fit and finish. You need your marketing materials to look really strong. Now, this used to be a really major expense. Now you can sometimes cut the expense by using the internet freelance sites where you can find graphic designers and you can find people who are doing product design and prototype building on a freelance site where you sometimes can save quite a bit of money. We have associated with us a prototype maker, T2 Designs, and also someone who does marketing materials, Josh Wallace, who do work for what we feel are affordable prices. But please feel free to check out other sources in your town, and the internet sources. Don't just limit yourself to one avenue for getting these materials. That everyone's going to see that your price points are reasonable, that they make sense for what your business strategy is, make sense for your sales strategy, make sense for your product strategy, and that how you compare to the competitive products and how you price your product, that it all kind of falls into place. When you start going out and want to make an impression, especially to the distribution channel, you really need to understand the industry discounts. You have to industry discounts is just like the main point, but you have to understand how the industry works. You have to understand what the chain of command in these distribution channel is. Who gets it first? Who gets it second? Who gets it third? If there's that many members, you have to understand who are the key players, who are the big players who dominate the market. And really, that's where you need your trade shows and trade magazines to really read and start understanding. And lastly, people like you. They think you've got something going. They like your product. Your price points are reasonable. Then they're going to start worrying about how kind of manufacturing setup do you have? How good is your manufacturing support? And what is your financial backup? Again, anytime they start asking you about this is like a gold mine for you, because that means they're really interested in your product. Remember, the more they quiz you, the more they test you, the more they push you on points, it only means they're really interested and they're trying to find out if they're really going to go ahead and buy from you. Now, this is presenting your product to distribution channels. And I gave this same slide in the video 3, choosing your distribution network, so I won't go into it too long. But if you're going to present to a distributor and you want to make a good first impression, first and foremost, be prepared for what the discounts are. Be prepared for how your pricing is going to work in the marketplace. Be prepared for how, with your wholesale price, what the retail price is going to be. Understand the different market segments. Even if you're not going to use a distribution channel, it still pays to understand it because you'll questions about that. Now, again, on the distribution channel, very short, maybe 10 minutes maximum. Present your idea, present who your target customers, present what's the purpose of the product, show them your marketing and packaging. I like always to show the competitive products, demonstrate why your product's better, or demonstrate why your product's better for your target market. When you're showing a competitive product and you're saying this product is really made for these customers in the customer group. So if you have a product where, for instance, it's a new type of a hardware product, you can say all these products are made for professionals. What you've come out with is the first consumer grade product with professional performance. You've tried to hit this certain price point so that you're going to be appealing to the do-it-yourselfers. You can even say, hey, I have, another tack would be to say, I have the hardware products, the hardware kit for women that they can use around their houses that aren't really that handy and don't know how to do things, but these are all very easy tools. All that matters is that you can identify your end user, understand the purpose behind it, and then show that your literature really shows that. Give a short demonstration on why your product is better. Sometime, but don't go crazy. Maybe just a 20 seconds. And then talk a little bit about the sales results you've had and locations where you've been successful, market tests you've had, and any kind of future promotional programs. This should be 10 minutes. You should be kind of, and don't be very comfortable saying this. Practice it so you don't have to read the slide and always have a lot to say besides what the slide says. You just don't want to show a slideshow and just read the slides. Now, distribution and end users, this really relates to both parties. You want to communicate quickly. I mean, people, really, if you get 3 to 5 minutes of their time, that's a lot. And so right away, you want to show, first of all, that you're related to the market. Focus on the end users. Always be talking about what the end user wants, what that kind of products they have, and what they see that's not working for them as with those products. What are the features they'd like that the products don't have? Everything should be focused on the end user first, and then how your product serves those needs of the end user. Don't go in and focus on your product. Always have all of your marketing materials, you, not me. And when a me marketing material is just something that talks about your product, what it does. You marketing materials talks about the customer's issues, the customer solutions that they're looking for, the customer needs, the customer wants, and then boom, your product comes in there and fills those needs. So don't, it's really considered poor form to have me marketing materials. And if you're going out with that, you're going to find that people are not going to really think you're that professional. Have backup for your statements to build trust. Now, don't go and give all this backup to the statements, but if you say, I had a market test and out of 25 users, 17 said they placed my product, just below these two really popular products and ahead of this other product that's also pretty popular as far as which one they'd be most likely to buy. Well, you don't have to show all the backup, but it's good to have it with you. And if someone quizzes you about it, say, well, if you'd like, I have the product backup or the testing backup right here if you'd like to take a look at it. Some people will take a look at it, but some will just be satisfied that you actually have that. That's the kind of thing that builds your credibility and has your trust. Remember your, relationship style, and that means you're really talking and trying to, instead of you telling him what the end users are, you pull information out of the person you're talking to about what kind of market needs do you see, and kind of get from them input back and forth, and always ask them if they have, not just if they have questions, but do you see the point I'm trying to make? Do you agree with the point? Have you seen the same kind of issues in the past when you're out there selling the product? That's really my favorite line. Have you seen these type of issues when you've been out there in the marketplace? And let them give you feedback. I mean, sometimes they won't, but always leave the room open for them to talk. Again, momentum. Invention's a momentum business. Show that you've done something. Market test, beachhead test, small test runs, selling at fairs. I mean, selling in a catalog. Anything you've done that shows that your product is actually selling and moving forward. And then, of course, you want to, if you're really talking to distribution, show a picture of the factory where the product's being made, explain how it's being made. And sometimes you really want to show something about your funding. I have 3 investors so far have put up $120,000 for my product. Everything that shows that you're going to be in business for a while. Inventors come and go pretty darn fast sometimes, and the distribution channel is always going to be a little bit worried that you're going to be here in another 5 months. And so show that you really got some staying power. Now, this is for end users and demonstrating you understand. So this again is you versus me. This is not my product. They want to see that you understand why this product is necessary. You understand their situation. So a lot of times it's a personal story. A lot of people talk about, here was their situation, this is why I developed the product. And of course you want that situation to relate to as many people as possible. You might talk about market studies that you've done or that you've seen or that you've researched where people kind of identified some of the things that they'd like to change, some of the problems they were having. And also you could be looking at competitive studies or comparisons by consumers. And just a little bit about how you use that information to create your product. So it's a little personal story. I mean, you can do this in usually about 90 seconds, but it's important for some people that they realize that you're not just coming up with some idea to try to make money, but you understand it. You're really passionate about what you're doing, and you're passionate about people who've been successful. Now, the distribution channel, what they're going to be interested in you understanding is totally different. They're going to be interested that you know about other products that have come in the marketplace and have succeeded or failed. They especially like you to see products that failed, so you can talk about what you're doing different than that product that failed, that invention that failed, and why you're going to overcome or succeed when the other company didn't. Now, I won't say most products, some products are lousy, but a lot of products that could very easily sell don't sell, primarily because the company or the inventor never developed a clear product strategy that really shows how the product fits in and how it's really going to be important in the market and how it's distinguished from the other products in the market. This is why I really feel if there's just one video inventors watch, it would be that how to create a product strategy, because that is something that's so important for success and something so many inventors don't even make any effort to do. So so when you're talking about why some company failed or succeeded, talk about the fact that they didn't identify a product strategy that put them into a really good spot in the consumer's mind about where it fit in the marketplace. They didn't have a market niche. They didn't have a differentiation point, and that was important. And so anytime you're talking about other companies, if you talk about product strategy, usually you can make a very convincing case. Um, how your product is different and why you're going to be more likely to succeed. And it's another thing distribution will like to show is that you've mirrored success of other small companies or inventors with complementary products, and how you've avoided the missteps that companies and inventors have taken in the past. Especially for clearly articulating your strategy, you want to do this both for end users and distributors. And of course, number one is your product strategy, which is simply, in the case of Reebok, it's a more comfortable tennis shoe. If you go back to video number 5 in Pumping Up Sales, this entire video is on product strategy, and it's, I think, probably the most important video in my whole 50 series. Your competitive advantage, how you're in the marketplace with an advantage over competition, how you fit with other products in the market. So the consumer is always looking for is a total solution. They're really not interested in just what your product is. So if I'll just give you an example. My wife has decided to upgrade our bath room, our small master bath, which just has a shower. And so she's created a whole scheme. She's got new faucets, new handles. She's replacing our tub shower with sort of laminate sheets. She's changing out the vanity. So she has a whole slew of products, and all she's caring about is the total solution. So when she goes in and she's looking at a faucet, she's thinking, how is this fitting in with everything else? And so this is where it becomes important for you as the inventor to really shape up, here's the whole project, here's how I fit in with these other components that you know that the end user is going to do. So what you're doing is you're not making them do all the research, you're providing that from them, for them, and in doing that, you're increasing your opportunities to make the whole sale. And of course, product support, give a little bit about you've got a 1-800 number, you've got technical people, you have people in the field, whatever you have. So make sure that you can clearly articulate your strategy. And again, you should be able to do this in really 30 seconds. So what you're doing is, for instance, you might be saying, like let's just say as far as my wife, as far as the vanity does it, you might be saying, look, we have the vanities that are specifically designed to coordinate with these new laminates for your shower. They can incorporate the very same type of faucets and faucets that you have in your shower. You've got the same type of a laminate on top with the same kind of color scheme, so that everything fits together. And we've designed our product to customize it so that we can provide all these features. Fine, that's, just be quick about it. And then your distributors, they're much more interested in your product strategy. Well, they want that product strategy too, how you fit in, but they're going to be looking at pricing, your promotional strategy, and the product support that you're going to offer them. Again, this is what I was just talking about my wife. How does the product fit the end user? So you want to really articulate the end user's goals, needs, and problems. And again, don't try to do this for the entire user group. Don't, for instance, my wife is remodeling, I guess they would call it a 3/4 bath, master bath, right? So fine, you pinpoint your market to that's the kind of bath that your product fits into. Don't go for the whole market. Again, just go for that market segment that you focused. Explain a little bit how you know that these are their goals and end users, and this is because you've done market research, you've sold the product, you've done test runs, you have the beachhead sale, you've installed 10 of these. Whatever the reason is, show why you actually know this is the fact, and then show how the product fits into what the end user is trying to do. So again, this is you, not me, advertising. You're talking about, here's what you're trying to accomplish, here's the other products that you're getting, here's where my product fits in. They help all those other products do a much better job and give you exactly what you want. So it's all about coordinating with the customer goals, the customer needs, the customer desire. And be sure you have a clear customer focus and a true desire to help the customer. When you have this, then you're creating that positive first impression. You're not the guy just coming in and trying to sell any old thing that you figured out the market needs. You're really showing that you've thought through the whole process, thought through how the product will work, thought through how the product is going to really solve problems for the customer. And again, you want to have some high quality marketing materials. Again, the freelancers can really help you, or you can use Josh Wallace, or maybe you have someone else. But the key is, it's you, not me, showing an understanding of the need. Top-notch slogans and taglines. You want those if you can get them. And be very clear on your product strategy and your competitive strategy. The end user's benefit has to be clear. So really work on that if you can to get your marketing materials. It's not how they look, and be sure that also they have a lot of visuals, more visuals than words, but really get used to that, communicating you, not me. And if you ask for samples from a graphic designers, look for that right away. How are they gearing their message? And make sure it's not just touting the product, but it's talking about what the customer needs. Slogans and tagline. Now this is just a chart that we used a little bit earlier in the video series for You Have a Project. And it's like slogan, short and sweet, built for tough, the Uncola. Quaker Oats, not quite as good. So try to work on slogans that really communicate your message about your product strategy in a very clear message, and get them out. I mean, I'm telling you, it's very hard to get a good tagline and slogan, so don't feel bad if you don't get one, but try to get one. And I would say really only maybe 5% of products really have a good tagline or slogan. But work on it, ask your friends to work on it, ask people at work to work on it, and maybe working together, you'll get somebody who will come up with a good idea. I know the person who came up with the tagline from Target, expect more, pay less. And he told, now this Target happens to be headquartered in Minneapolis, which is where I live. And he told me he was just sleeping at night and it just popped in his head. And so you never know where these slogans are going to come from. And so you want a good price point, you want a good industry discount. And so for end users, the pricing, it's a price that no one questions. It just makes sense. You're not like double the price of everybody else. And you're not really a lot lower than everyone else. That's a big drawback ever. It should be that, hey, this is about what the product should cost. You want to be sure that your quality, materials of construction, size, and features really fit that price. So if you walk around a store that you're looking at, look at the kind of quality of the different products and the materials of construction and what they're like, and so what they're selling for. So don't just compare competitive products, how you fit in competitive products, but look around for products that are in the marketplace that have the similar type of quality construction you do, and see what they're priced. If people are used to seeing a product with, like for instance, plastic material, that's maybe the size of a football, maybe they're used to paying $15 for that. And if you're at $45, you've really got to go back and make sure that some features stick out, or you have other points sticking out, or maybe your fit and finishes of such that you can justify that higher price. Perceived value. Back in our earlier video series, we were talking about how to check price per value, where you take 10 products that are in the same market, but of widely different, and they don't even really need to be totally in the same market, but they're widely different systems. And what you're doing then is just asking people to rank them by perceived value. In other words, this one's worth the most, this one's worth the second most. Don't tell them what the prices are. And make sure that that perceived value where people put you is about where your price is. Because if it's not, then all of a sudden your price is not one that no one questions. They're going to look at it and wonder. Distributors, again, standard industry discounts and terms, know what they are, because the distributors and the whole distribution channel is always trying to get more money out of you. And if you don't really know what the terms are, they might buffalo you into giving a bigger discount. Here again, for discounts, be sure to use SCORE. Be sure to use the Small Business Development Center. These are free services by the Small Business Administration, and they can really provide you some helpful advice when it comes to pricing your product. Now, everybody, you're an inventor. You've come out with the product. Who knows how long you're going to be in business? Who knows how much money you have? Who knows how you can launch your product? Who knows what kind of support you have? Everybody is doubtful. Now, when people start quizzing you on this, as I said, this is great because that means they want to buy. They like the product. You've sold them on that, but now they just want to make sure they're not making a bad mistake. So talk about your returns and warranties, guaranteed supply. Talk about how the product's being manufactured. Talk about how you have product support. Smooth over the worries about quality. You're working with a manufacturer that is $45 million per year. He's got all types of tooling. He has a quality department of three people. He's ISO 9001 certified. Talk about the plant, the capacity of plant. And also it's very helpful to talk about the number of key investors if you have it. So if you've gotten 3 investors who've invested with you so far to propel the product, tell people that. More than likely, well, this is how people really view it, is that if these 3 investors have put up money and gotten your product this far, well, they're not just going to let it die. They'll keep pumping money in to at least see that it has a chance in the marketplace and to see how it does. So be prepared for this. This is another thing for a strong impression, especially with manufacturers and distributors. And really, when you're talking about people in the distribution channel also, they're also going to want to know about what kind of support you have.